All right, how's everybody doing? Um, just gonna jump right into this. I'm gonna try to keep this under an hour, and then if there's any questions later on, you can go over to the Facebook group and post them there. Let me get you the link to the Facebook group. It's If you go to Facebook, it's SEO for small to medium businesses in Boston. So this is the group here. Um, just go over to this link. I posted an email message, and you can just go over to that link and I'll post any questions there. If any come in during, I'll keep an eye out and see if I'll just keep refreshing this. So let me just jump right into this, and if there's any questions along the way, I'll try to get to those. So I'm just gonna go over the 12 things your business website should be doing to dominate Google. These are some building blocks that you really have to have in place now to get Google to trust your website and to brand your website in your business. So here we go. We'll just go over the first slide here. So one thing you really want to check out is and this is really important as of last April. You want to make sure your website's mobile friendly. Google definitely prefers websites that pass a mobile friendly test. There's an actual whole separate search results apart from the desktop results now, in case you didn't know, which just only show mobile friendly websites. So according to Google, on the mobile friendly searches, on the mobile searches now, they're only showing mobile friendly websites. And now there's another step to this where they're favoring accelerated mobole pages. But to make sure to find out if your website is mobile friendly, you can go over to, I think we have time, so I'm just gonna just show you real quick. We'll do a mobile friendly test. If anyone has one they want to share, we can do that, but I'm just gonna drag this over. You can just go to Google, and just type in mobile friendly test. There's a link too, but just mobile friendly test will work. And the first one, mobile friendly test, just click it, and we'll just put in. Let's just grab something like pizza Boston. See if any of these pizza websites are mobile friendly. Let's see if we can find an actual pizza website though. Oh, look at Regina. Regina should be mobile friendly. Ooh, maybe not. So we'll just copy this, paste it in here. Excuse me. And it takes a couple minutes. So Regina Pizzeria is not mobile friendly. And Google gives you the reasons. The text is too small to read. Mobile viewport is not set. Links too close together. You can see, it gives you a sample here. There's no way to really navigate this on a mobile device. So it's because what Google wants to do is they just want to provide the best user experience, because they want people to use their search engine, instead of going to Bing or Yahoo or wherever else. I mean, there's so many different search engines, but they want to provide the best results. So that's one thing you want to make sure. Make sure your website's mobile friendly. So there's a link here. I'll drop it in the meetup group. All these links, and just go over there, run the test, or just type in mobile friendly test, and you can find it that way. So the next thing. Oh, by the way, if you have any questions, there's not a ton of us right now on the live event, I don't think. So if you want, you can actually join in, and we can just go over questions that way. I think Google Hangout allows 10 people, so we could, if you have any questions, you can just join the Hangout and drop your questions in that way in the group chat. But if we get over 10, I'm not sure. This is the first one we did this way. So if we get over 10, there's that Facebook group, and we can just go over it that way. So the next thing you want to look, these are tools that Google gives you. You want to make sure your website loads fairly quickly. And we'll just use Pizzeria Regina again, I guess, for the same example. Google prefers a faster loading site. Again, same reasons. They want to have the best user experience for people using Google. And this is going to help your website for a couple of reasons. It's probably happened to you where you go to you click on a link in Google, in the Google search results, and it just sits there and loads and loads and loads, and you're gonna probably leave that you're gonna leave that website before it even loads. So that is what Google measures these things, and that's what's considered a bounce. So if you have a slow loading website, it's going to increase your bounce rate. And what that does is, so Google's just a machine, it's an algorithm, and it tries to figure out what are the most relevant results. So what it's doing is it has these 10 results there, and say it's for pizza in Boston, and one of these websites doesn't load quick. Well, Google may know it doesn't load quick, but it's also going to see that, all right, there's so many visitors clicked on this link for pizza in Boston, and they immediately left that link. So it puts that together and says, well, this site may not be relevant to pizza in Boston. So that's why that bounce rate is important. These aren't the major factors in SEO, but these are these little things that you need to have to get an edge up on your competition. Also, it's good for conversion. Aside from search engine optimization, it's good for conversion where, someone's just not going to stay. They're not going to stay on your website if everything's loading very slow. So I'm going to just jump over here. I'll do a quick one. Actually, so again, you can use this link that I'll drop in the group, or we can just, you can just go over to Google, and you'd want to type in page speed insights. It won't be your first link. And we'll use, let's just we'll do Regina Pizza again, Pizzeria Regina, since we used it for the, I guess we'll just beat up on Pizzeria Regina. We'll just copy this link. I love Pizzeria Regina, by the way. Nothing against them. And we'll see, this may take a little bit. So red, it's like a traffic light system. Red is not good. Yellow you should fix, like consider fixing. And it gives you two different results. It's a mobile, and it's going to tell you things you can do to fix it. Excuse me. So it's going to give you some things you can do, and then other things you should consider fixing. To get that into at least yellow, like I think at 79 or 80 it turns to green. So to have it up there is better. It's just telling Google, your website, it loads fast, and there's other ways. There's other page speed tests, but I use the Google one because that's what Google uses. So, I'd rather use their tools because that's what they're basing this off of. And then, so this, looks okay. That actually for the desktop version, it's just a leverage browser caching that they have to fix, and that would probably boost up their score even better. So yeah, like I said, it's like a traffic light system. You see red you want to try to fix. Yellow you should fix, and then green is good. Okay, now this is stuff that's going to really help if you're a local business. Is listing your website in the top 100 local business directories, like Yelp and Merchant Circle, and even BBB is one. I think you can get even that one free. Foursquare. There's a whole bunch of them. You can just look up directories. Now these are business directories. You don't. This isn't anything to do with like link directories where there's links to your website, but there is links to your website. But you want to stay away from, you know, link directories because those aren't that great usually. Google loves these websites that are listed in many of the top local business directories. The reason they like this is because it's you're building your brand, and you're showing Google that you're a legitimate local business. It's trying to build their brand. And the other reason is this traffic is it's referral traffic, and Google can see that. So it may not be as much traffic as directly to your website through searches, but it's traffic that Google can see. So if someone finds your Yelp page, Google can see that they found your Yelp page, and then they clicked over to your website. So that referral traffic is really it's a really good thing for Google to see, and having all these different places where they come from, Facebook, and we'll get into that in a second. But these local business directories help your website. And there's another thing there too, where if you're a business that you have a phone number, address, and your business name, that's what you're listing there. They call that your NAP. Some people call it it's name, address, phone number. That stuff, Google puts us all together. So we're going to get into in a minute, like Google My Business and things. With your Google My Business page, that you want to keep all that stuff consistent. And Google puts all that together, saying, okay, this is this business. They have a consistent name, address, and phone number. It's not confusing. And that gives you a step up in that local business listing that Google has. The Google, now it's 3 businesses. The snack pack, or it used to be 7 businesses there. So that helps that. And this is the next part. You want to have your business set up on social sites. This builds trust to your website. So Google Plus and Google My Business, they're kind of similar but not the same. Google Plus, if you just had a business that's a website that's not a local business, you do a Google Plus page, and you can do both. If you're a local business, you want to have your Google Plus and a Google My Business page, which is where you'd list your name, address, phone number, things like that. You can do the same thing with Facebook. You can have your Facebook page with your business listing, and Facebook now they have a service directory. They're trying to compete with like Yelp and like Home Advisor and Angie's List and things like that. So to list your website on Facebook, your business on Facebook, can get you into this new thing. They're rolling it out this year. It's there already. If you went to facebook.com, I think it's /services, you'd see that there's a lot of services, and they put a lot of time into this and a lot of money, and that's going to be coming out this year. They're going to be rolling it out like full force. The same thing with this. It's helping to build your brand. Google loves brands, so if you can build your brand, it just shows that you're a legitimate business. You're not trying to game the system. Again, with the referral traffic, Google sees that there's traffic. They're finding you on Facebook. People are finding you on Facebook and then going to your website. That's great. Google sees, even if you're not on the first page of Google yet, if people are going to your Facebook page and clicking from your Facebook page over to your website, Google can see that. And they can see it even if you don't have analytics installed. But analytics is for you to see. So if you have Google Analytics on there, you'll see referral traffic going to your website, and that's a good thing. Again, and it makes it easier for people to share your business, and share share links, Facebook and Google Plus. And I love Facebook for that reason. You can share your business and have other people share it, and Google sees all this referral traffic. I mean, I do it my own website, and you can see when you share a link, if you have your analytics set up, you can see like those spikes in traffic going to your website. And then you get more time on site, more visitors. So that's a really good thing. Next thing, this is starting to get into your competitors. Are you looking at what your competition is doing to rank? That's really important. Knowing what they're doing, how much money they're spending, like on advertising, on maybe AdWords, or looking at the keywords they're targeting, and just generally looking at how much effort they're taking to be ranked online. And there's ways to do that. SEMrush. This tool, there's a paid version of this tool, but there's also, they give you some free credits, or whatever you want to call it. I think it's daily. I'll bring it over. We'll go over SEMrush now so you can see it. And it's just semrush.com. And we can analyze a website. And so I'm not logged in. I have my own account, but I'm going to see. It may not let me do it. I may have to log in because I actually have an account. Let's think. We can look at, I guess we'll look at Regina. Say Regina Pizzeria was our competition. So we just plug this in. I usually take off the www and then just hit search. No, excuse me. No, what it is, they limit how much stuff you can see, but you can still see some things they're doing. So you can see how much organic traffic they have over here. You can see this other one's paid traffic, how much if they're paying for ads, and then you can see their top organic keywords right here. And this is what I like looking at. We're not going to get the full report because this is not the paid version, but you can see some of them. Also, you can see main organic competitors. So we got Pizzeria Regina, Boston Pizza Tours, Boston Pizza Norwell. So there's a bunch in there, but let's see. I'm just going to hit this and see how many keywords it shows us. And you can also, they put like a value. SEMrush puts a value to this. And the way they put the value to it is how much the cost per click would be, and how much search volume. But we can see here what they're going for. And most of this right here I see is branded. So Pizzeria Regina, Pizzeria Regina, Regina Pizza. But like Pizzeria Delivery, then they 90 searches. So you can see how much search volume there is too. And even though, there's a little trick, even though this is Regina Pizza Boston and has 480 searches for them, somebody else is on that page too, another pizzeria. So you can kind of piggyback onto their search volume, and kind of rank for their brand almost. You're not saying that you're their brand, but you can piggyback off that. So there's a lot of things you can compare here, but these are the main things. Like, you can see what keywords they're ranking for. With the paid version, the pro version, it shows a lot more. They have 3.5 thousand, 3,500 keywords they're ranking for. So there's a whole bunch. But what we'd mainly look at is the ones on page 1 with SEMrush. And let's go on to the next slide. I didn't really introduce myself. My name's so sorry about that, but my name's Bill Smith. I own a company called Boston SEO Services. I do search engine optimization for local and national, international businesses. And I just I have this meetup because I want to share this stuff with you. There's a lot of stuff that you can do on your own and help your website. So I like to share that. If you ever have any questions, you can contact me. If you type in Boston SEO, I'm the number one guy in Boston with Boston SEO Services. So if you have any questions, feel free. Just let me know you're in the meetup group, and we can discuss any type of questions you have. All right, let me just jump back into this. So this is a big one. Is your website optimized properly? So you want to figure out the keywords that people are searching for, and that using that SEMrush is a good way to do that. Find a competitor that looks like they may be doing well from online traffic, and look at what keywords they're ranking for, and then you may want to look at that traffic, see how much traffic's coming from those keywords. Take the top ones, or take take whatever the top search volume ones, or just the top 10, or whatever you want to do, and look at those, and then optimize your website for these. And this is called the on-page optimization. So figure out words people search for, like I said, SEMrush, or which ones you want to show up for. Sometimes the search volume isn't always correct. We use Google Keyword Planner for that. But some things, you just kind of know that people are searching for. I can't think of an example right off the bat, but say you're in a larger town or city, and you're an accountant. There's definitely people searching for an accountant in your town. So even though Google may not show that there's any search volume, there probably is. If because people are going to be looking, if there's businesses in the town and things like that, they're going to be looking for an accountant. Sometimes those search volumes don't always make sense, and there's a lot that Keyword Planner doesn't even show you. So that's another issue. So you look what your competitors are ranking for, using SEMrush, and then use your best judgment on other ones, and maybe they're less competitive too. But we'll get into that right now, how we're going to look at that. So if we want to go, went over to Google, so we'll just, I'm going to just stick on Pizzeria Regina, I guess, Pizza Boston. So we'll go over to google.com, excuse me, and we're just going to type in Pizza Boston. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look, one of the kind of basic things we're looking at is the page titles. So I'll show you the title tag, where it is, and we're going to analyze those to see what they all have in common. That's the thing you want to see. There's like a commonality between a lot of websites. So you want to see, so we're looking at Pizza Boston right now. So we want to see how many of those websites have that in the page title. So let's take a look at this. All right, we're not going to look at this. Is the local results. We're not going to look at that because they don't have them. But see this blue? See this blue link? So that's where your title tag comes from, is all these. And we're just looking if it has those words, Pizza Boston. They don't have to be together. Google knows where they are. So we see this first one, Pizza Boston, right? Then there's other factors too that, a little more advanced, is the URL, which is this part here. So we see Pizza Boston, right? And then there's the description, which is this little blurb down here. And we'll see, we see pizza. I don't see Boston in that one, but we look at these. Okay, so this one has Pizza Boston, right? Pizza Boston, Pizza Boston, Pizza Boston. This one has Boston. It has pizza in Boston's. So that one actually doesn't have Boston. That's a different keyword right there, but it's still pretty close. The algorithm can figure that out. Pizza Boston, Pizza Boston. So we can either say 10 of these have it, or at least 9 of these have exactly Pizza Boston. So Google, you can see that that's probably a signal for Google. Excuse me, to say, this, because what we're doing with this title tag, with this title, is telling Google what the page is about or what the website's about. So that's a pretty good factor right there. If we look on, we start looking at these, they start to get away from it. I mean, we still see it because this is, probably, if I look at this, I see a lot of they're called high authority sites. You see Yelp and Boston.com, Boston Magazine. Actually, the Yelp we could always overtake, or you just what's good about this Yelp is we know that actually it's not an actual page; it's just a directory. If that was somebody's Yelp listing, then you know you'd have a good chance of getting that at some point with search engine optimization. But yeah, we'll start to get into some that probably don't have them further back, because that's that's what one of the things that's ranking that website is the page title. So you start to see they start to go away a little bit less. But so that's one thing you want to look at. That's the page. That's called the title tag, page title tag. And like I said, check the top 10, see what they have in their title tag. Check your website, see if it has that in the title tag. If it doesn't, you probably want to put it in there on one of your pages. It doesn't have to be like this is the other thing. If you have many pages on your website, you don't have to put it on every single page. You just want to rank whatever page that's. What I would do is look and see which one's ranking closest to the page one, and then put it on that one. Like I said, there's a lot of on-page SEO factors that Google likes. Like I said, and these are this is like the building blocks of good on-page SEO is your page title, your page descriptions, and your URL. But you can check all these other things, heading tags and meta tags and all these things. I could do a whole probably 3 hours just on this. So just wanted to brush over this. This is not really brush over, but this is, we'll definitely want to touch on this because that's pretty important. Let's see, on to the next. Let's see. So this is kind of conversion rate and search engine optimization. Your contact information is easily found. So search engine optimization part of this is, like I was saying, with your name, address, and phone number, putting it all together. You want to have that on your website for that reason, because if you're putting it on your Google My Business page and you're putting it in all these business directories, if you have the same thing on your website, that really lets Google, thread the needle through all those holes and say, okay, this is all the same stuff, and they can connect it with those identifying factors. Your phone name, address, and phone number, your business name. And then for conversion, you want to make sure people can reach you. If they're going to get to your website, you want to have it, your phone number prominently positioned on the page, and a link contacting. Contact us. I see a lot of websites, that it's just hard to find the contact information, how to contact them. So it's good to have it on that first page, at least a phone number. And then you could have a good, like if you have a contact us page, make sure they can easily find it, because I see somewhere it's hidden like in a drop down thing when on the menu, with you have to actually go to like about us, and then it's a drop down with contact us. Well, it's not easy to find, and people are just going to give up and move to the next. Not everyone, but a lot of people will. Other thing, have the contact us page. You want your company, again, put your company name, address, phone number, and then you want, it's great to have all those links to, your Facebook, your Twitter, LinkedIn, Google Plus, have them on that site, on that page, and that helps everything. It is now those things are linking to you, like all those social sites are going to link to you, which builds big trust with Google, because now you have this ring of trusted sites around your website, and also you're linking back to them, and it just kind of puts everything together as a nice brand, and Google can see that. This is a good one. Do you have a video embedded on your website? This is one of the things is time on site. If there's a video there, people click on it, they watch it, they spend time. That's a fact. So that's the thing. It's increasing your time on site. And that's one of those ranking factors. You know, if Google sees people spend, if you say you're, you know, at the bottom of page 1 or something, and you know Google sees that people are spending more time on your site than other sites for the same search term, it's going to move you up. Again, it's not one of those major ranking factors, but it is a ranking factor. So you know, having that there. Um, Also, if you have a video, if you embed it into your website and on your other properties and things like that, you can rank your video. You know, you can have your video there, and you do use the same techniques that you would for your website. You know, looking at the page title of the competitors, and you know, using that as your YouTube video title when you upload it and things like that, or Vimeo or Dailymotion. I use YouTube. I use both. I use YouTube and Vimeo, but YouTube videos tend to rank easier because Google owns YouTube. So that's, you know, they kind of like their own products. You know, having like a demo of a product, something that you're offering, or even a welcome message from the owner, you know, that's a good one to have. Or like this, like an explainer video showing what your services do. Because I mean, I get to websites sometimes and I'm really not clear, like even after reading it, like what they exactly do. You know, and this isn't something I'm be searching for. You know, if I'm looking at a client's website and get there, and you know, I don't really understand what they do. Sometimes a video would, you know, just clear that up in 1 minute. So again, main thing with this is having that video there is increasing your time on site. Listing your business on these free ad sites, you know, Backpages, Craigslist, or Backpage, Craigslist, and things like that. You know, you can send, again, it's referral traffic. You know, Google loves this referral traffic. It shows that you're relevant. So that's the main thing, and it's free advertising. You know, Craigslist and Backpage, they get a lot of visitors every day. So if you list it there, there's no way to. I mean, you're just going to put a link to your website, pretty much. That's all, and you know, you get that referral traffic. Having an About Us page, I kind of touched on a little bit, but you want to, you know, have this to introduce yourself. It's kind of like your elevator pitch, really, to your visitors. It doesn't have to be too long. But just telling a little bit about your business and what you do. This is more, again, time on site, and it's also conversion. You know, it's going to help. You know, the more you feel like you connect with a business, the easier it is to buy from them. So having an About Us page. Another one that I like to have, I don't have it in here, I don't think, in this slide, is frequently asked questions. Because what happens with the frequently asked questions is these are things that, you know, and you can do a little research too, but these are things that people are asking about your service, you know, and that helps you rank for those keywords. So if someone's asking that question, if you know, people don't just type in what they're looking for on Google, they actually ask Google questions. And you can see that, like, if you do any keyword research with Keyword Planner, you can see that there's a lot of people just asking questions. You know, if it was, and the Pizzeria Regina thing probably doesn't fit on this one, but you know, if it was about accounting, maybe you know, it might be, you know, how long do I have to hold? How long do I have to keep my records after, you know, my business records after the tax year is up, something like that. People are asking that question probably. I mean, I just kind of came with that one off the top of my head, but I'm sure they're asking that. So, you know, that helps you. It's a time on site thing again, and it helps you, you know, answer a question, and it helps you rank for that in Google. So, you know, About Us is definitely a good one. Frequently asked questions is another little tip. So we just turned this into 13, I guess. Are you showing testimonials on your website? Do you have testimonials? If you don't, you should start asking for them. These are really, it keeps people on. This is another time on site thing, but it's really big for conversion. When you see that, people are willing to put a testimonial on someone else's website saying how good their product is or how good their service is, you're going to be more willing to use them. And that was kind of the idea. That's kind of the idea with Yelp. When people look at Yelp, to find these good reviews. So, and then when you have these, if you're getting them, don't put them at the bottom of the page where no one's going to see them. Let people see them right away. Um, so that's another thing. Putting them in a place where people can see them, and it helps you with the sales and keeping people on your website. Well, I think we're almost at the end here. This is kind of like rocket fuel for your website. This one, it's do other websites link to yours, and this is called a backlink. It's huge. It's kind of like a vote for your website when another website links to yours, but not all the votes are created equal. So to go out and get as many links as you can isn't the solution. It's more getting the links that Google likes. So higher authority, higher trust, they call it, websites that will link to yours, and to go out and get like as many links as you can, that can damage your website. So don't do that. We use a tool called Ahrefs, in SEO. It's one of the ones we can use. You can even use SEMrush for it, and see what you have for links going to your website. So let me just pull up Ahrefs, see how this works out. And Pizzeria Regina, I don't think is going to be a good example for this one. So we'll look at something else. So Ahrefs. Let me just see if there's any questions. I don't think there's any questions. No, I don't. No, I don't see any questions. So, oops. All right, so we're at Ahrefs. I believe they give you, we can let's do Site Explorer. I don't know why it's not going. Start your trial. Oh, so you have to add your email and on this and stuff. So we can use, actually, we'll go to Moz.com, same type of thing. And you can see backlinks this way. I think Moz gives you a free one. I thought Ahrefs gave you a free, they give you, I think, a free trial, but I'm trying to use the ones that you don't have to, and I don't want to log in right now. I'm trying to use the ones that you don't have to, pay at first. So we can use Open Site Explorer. So if you went to Moz.com, you'd go up to Moz Pro, and then just hit Open Site Explorer. So let's do, we'll do like account in Boston. And we'll look at some of their links. So we're not going to look at LinkedIn. We're not going to look at these. Well, I mean, if you were trying to rank for this, I guess you'd kind of have to look at these. But if it was something local, let's try like another small town. Like, let's try. Let's try Wellesley. Probably spelled it wrong here. So now we get some accountants. Peck Associates. So I'd want to see what type of links they have going to their website. So I just take this URL, copy it, and paste it into Open Site Explorer. So this page authority and domain authority, this is a metric that Moz uses to kind of, it shows like the power of the website. So when you're a brand new website, it's a domain authority of 1, page authority 1. And then as it gets more links and more content on it, that authority builds up. So this one here, and this is one thing you want to look at too. The inbound links, it's not showing any. So that website, and actually 2 root domains, and that could be, it could be one from itself usually, and then actually for some reason it's showing 26 here. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at the without the www, because sometimes, or a lot of times, because it depends on where the links are coming from. No, so nothing there. Let's look at the next one down. We'll look at Bruce Fox. We'll check out his. So I'd look at all of these anyway. I mean, I would analyze each one of these and see what links they have going to their website. This one again isn't showing anything. I may have to log into this, but let's see. Try the www. All right. Let me log in. Yeah, they limit you to, I think, like 5 searches. I'm just going to log in here and just for a second. Where am I? Oops. Let's see if this will work. Sorry about that. Sorry for the delay. Let's try Bruce Fox again. Oops, put it in the wrong spot. Sorry about that. Just gotta go here. So Bruce Fox isn't showing anything. So I mean, if you were trying to rank for this right now, that looks like a good sign. Like there's not many websites with. Because then we get into Angie's list. Now let's see what. Oh, this is Bruce Fox also. So he's using a couple different websites. So this would be kind of a good sign. It's not super competitive if everything's a brand new website. So we got domain authority 9, page authority. Not finding any links, which is interesting. Interesting. Let's look at another one. I want to find one that has links for you. Try Livingston Hayes, I guess. Oh, that's kind of a slow website loading. Livingston Hayes, back to Open Site Explorer. So here's a couple links. So this isn't, to me right now, this doesn't seem like a super competitive search term. But so now we can see, you know, they have a link from Bain Capital, and then they have one from whatever this is, Public QHMA. And then you can see what their anchor text is, and it's just like branded. So that's called branded anchor text. It's just the name of their website. And then this is just general anchor text, visit website. So they're not targeting any type of keyword with that anchor text also. Let's look at one more, maybe something with a bigger link profile. It's like the big authority sites like LinkedIn and things like that. They're gonna have a ton of links going to them. But then if you were trying to outrank something like that, you just look at the page, not the domain, because it's the page that's ranking. So this one doesn't have many links either. So if you were trying to rank for this, you know, it doesn't look like it's super competitive. If you were trying to rank for accountant Wellesley, you know, so you know, Wellesley tax accountant, that's a different search term. Bruce Fox is there again. And then you see, when you see like a lot of Yelp and things like that, that probably means it's not too competitive either. Because, you know, Yelp's just there on authority alone. You know, if you look at the authority of Yelp, you know, if we look at this, you know, if we looked at the domain authority Yelp, I think it's like 100 or 99, which is as high as it can go. You know, it goes from 1 to 100. We're just looking at this actual page. So the domain authority is 93. You know, it's pretty close. Page authority, that's just this page alone, not the domain. So this is the domain, yelp.com, and then this is the page. There's no links going to it, so you could, you know, a couple links, you can beat that. I think that just about wraps it up. Again, just leave some feedback in the group or send me an email if you guys like this format, if we, you know, going over this. You know, and again, if there's any questions on any of this, or if you have any now, I'll hang out for a few minutes. You can either join the meetup, join the hangout and type them into the chat, or join the Facebook group and type them into the chat. Let me just refresh to see if there's any questions. No, I don't see any. So yeah, that's just about sums it up. So here's the summary. This is what will sum it up. You know, you want a site that's mobile friendly. You want it to load quickly using those Google tools. You want it to be listed in local directories if you're a local business, with your name, address, phone number being consistent. You want it listed on the top social networking sites. You can go to, like, there's a website called Knowem, Knowem, and you know that has a lot of the top social sites. Let me just so if you went Knowem.com, and then you can check and see if your brand is actually available too. So you know if we wanted to see if Pizzeria Regina is available, you know, we can check it and see and it will tell you what's available, and you can go out and get those. So like Blog is available. Like these are all really good high trust sites. WordPress is available, WordPress.com. All these are available. But if for your brand, you know, you just type it in, check, and you know, these are a good start to, you know, these top social networks and social sites. You know, you want to make sure you're listed on the top networking sites. You know, so those are those known ones. You want to make sure that, you know, your website on-page optimization is correct. So by going and looking at your competitors and or the people that are on page one for the search term you're trying to rank for, go in there and make sure your website's optimized like this. You know, having that embedded video, time on site thing, listed on the top free sites. That's more referral traffic, along with local directories and social networking sites, referral traffic. Clear contact information. It's a twofold thing. You know, you want people to be able to contact you easily, and you want that name, address, phone number, the same as all those other things. You want to have an about us page, and you know, kind of like telling people what you do, and building trust, and also, you know, on that contact page, having links to all your other social properties. Testimonials for SEO purposes, you know, these are just going to increase time on site. You know, so have those where people can see them, find them really easily. And then like they said, the rocket fuel for this is great backlinks. You know, you want to find, look at your competitors, look at what their backlinks are, try to get similar ones. It's kind of like reverse engineering what they're doing, and then, you know, that'll get you a good start on getting on page one. It takes time. It does take time even for these backlinks to get found. You know, it takes, you know, it could take, to get found, it might take, you know, a month, but to have full effect on your website and increase to really finish, it's increase. Like, you'll see a little bump in the rankings, and then, you know, within a month or two. But then, you know, it takes like 2 to 4 months just to see the full effect of a link going to your website. And if you need help, you know, you can, like I said, you can always, you know, contact me. You know, I can help you with any of these issues, or just all of these, you know, help you fix them. And if you want to do it yourself, you know, you can do it yourself. This is what you know, I want to provide some value to you guys, and this is stuff. These are actions you can take on your own if you want to take the time and do it. You know, these methods are like the core methods that I use to rank websites on page one. They've been working for a long time. So if you need help, or if you just have a question, you can go to, you know, BostonSEOservices@gmail.com, send me a question, or you can just go to my website, BostonSEOservices.org, or just type in Boston SEO or anything related to SEO. You'll find me on page one of Google. And I hope this worked out. I really would like, you know, a little feedback, and let me know, you know, what we can do to improve this, if this Hangout thing works, or if it's better just to meet in person. So thanks again for showing up. I appreciate it, and I'll keep you posted on the next meeting. I'm gonna try to have one every month, and either, you know, the next one, maybe if I get some questions on something in here, we'll just dive a little deeper into it, or we'll just go on a whole nother topic. So I'll just go off of your feedback. All right, thank you. Have a great day.